that's why I think Doofenshmirtz would have a dark link with Rufus. It's because like, this guy's out eviling me.
Yeah, actually, that sounds really fucking amazing. That's like an excellent foil, actually, because like a trending thing in like the pony games is that Rufus tries to do like good things, but always ends up like making them worse, like way worse. So it's kind of like an inversion, and I like that.
I
It's
just
an
realized that
inverse.
Doofenshmirtz is a lot like Jack Spicer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
completely
Being
brilliant-minded people who are just kind of idiots at the same time, who end up doing more nice than evil.
being a
Okay, fuck it. I'm
villain in a
gonna
children's
give
show would be like that, yeah.
I'm gonna give Rufus a heart link with Dr. Doofenshmirtz because like his journey reminds him of his in a way. Not sure if that makes sense. Also setting it up for like, oh, he can be like Doofenshmirtz's minion, and that's how he realizes like, wait, you're doing evil better than me.
I could probably make this a little bigger. That's 80.
I think that's it. Walter.
Walter.
Well,
Walter.
I love the picture you use. Water wipes.
What?
Water wipes. You goddamn right.
You're goddamn right, eh?
What's my name?
I've given up on actually trying to do a good impression of Walter White. I'm just gonna do whatever fucking voice ends up coming out.
whatever.
Yeah,
That was
vaguely Solid Snake.
Vaguely snaky.
yeah. Don't.
Solid fake.
I love that so far everyone hates Rufus except for Danny Vicky.
You
Yeah,
you
don't-
were, by process of elimination, gonna be the Dark Link. But Dan doesn't really hate anyone, so it would be a Dark Link purely out of rivalry.
yeah.
It would be a rivalry.
Why would he recall
Don't.
declare Rio as a rival though?
Because he wants to get stronger.
And Rio's just like not interested.
Ugh.
Yeah, don't worry, Jeff. Just doing whatever, not having a set voice and just doing whatever the hell is basically what I did for Mr. Magoo in the last Interstitial game.
McGill.
I like the
Yeah.
idea. So, like, one of my abilities for my character playbook or whatever is so be it, and I can go like mask off and reveal my true strength. Which, like, I have no way. I have no idea how I'm going to quantify that as Walter White, because like it says like, oh, you can like move mountains with your strength. So is Walter just gonna become like a genetic freak that's unstoppable?
I feel like
Please stop praying for my
I
grandfather.
feel like the way I would take it is that he uses his social connections to basically get people to do the dirty work for him.
Oh, that's
Make him-
really,
Yeah.
that's
make
really
him-
cool.
Make him crack cocaine bait. Make him Snowflame.
Okay, I really like that.
He doesn't sample his wares though. That's the whole point.
That's fair. That's fair.
He
That
just
is
he does
literally
the he does the fucking the Gus
took-
Fring gif where he just rips
Just
off his
putting this
shirt and he's
out.
fucking buff.
Yeah, like putting this out here, I like the idea more. Like he's like just using like his masterful connections to just basically engineer your demise. But I love the idea of him just kind of like using like an experimental like strain of his own drug and just turns into fucking.
I've created
Well,
ultra
more-
meth.
That said, it would be very funny to have Dan challenge Walter to a fucking sparring match, and then Walter goes quote unquote mask off and just fucking juggles him with a single combo.
I was scaling Walter White to be the strongest character in the party.
Oh god.
It's blue.
Like
It's
he
purple,
does
man.
the fucking like pocket sand, but he just throws meth in his eyes.
Meth.
Pocket.
That would
Pocket
fucking hurt.
I almost said meth sand, and I'm like, wait, no, it's
Pocket
Meth sand.
Meth.
Meth stuff.
I do think that the idea of Walter, like, I mean, I feel like the way I might play it is that, like, since we're in a confluence of different worlds here, Walter is opening himself up to different potential avenues of power.
Oh,
And
I
so if
see.
he
He's
does
unleashing his chakra gates.
so if he goes mask off, it'll be through some sort of, like, black magic fucking crazy shit or something.
Yeah, like fucking. If we end up like fucking like some Final Fantasy bullshit and Walter White like just goes full Donald Duck and casts Zeta Flare, then fuck it, why not?
Z-
All right, so
would it be Zeta Crack or Crack Flare?
Well,
Meth.
it would be meth flare.
It would be
Yeah.
meth. Walter
Right.
White creates meth.
Although the idea of him casting Zeta meth, which is like the 6th tier level of meth.
Methylovania.
Pennsylvania.
Awesome.
Thank you.
So
Look like you're about to have a bad trip.
All right.
are we ready to get started?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yes. So it's gonna be by text only, just making sure.
What?
As-
No,
as ready as
it's
we'll ever
by
be.
the dice rolls are going to be by text, but we're going to be doing things in voice.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right. So, you feel each of you feels your consciousness drifting through an unknown space. You don't know where you are. You don't even really know who you are. But after an amount of time, it could be eons, could be moments, you wake up on a beach, amongst each other and amongst a lot of flotsam, various wooden boards, there's a tire, a washing machine, just all on this beach. Just all, you just drifted, scattered about the entire beach. So, what do you do?
So
How the
Rufus
hell
is
did I
gonna-
get in Los Angeles?
So Rufus gonna kind of
Ah, great. Of course it's the beach again. It's always the beach.
oh great, my plan actually worked this time.
Eh?
Only the
Duvin
pony and
Duvin
everything.
turns towards him and like, hey, your plan. Did you do it?
Yes, this was all part of my plan.
Great.
Walter,
Some rowdy
wouldn't-
little head responsible for finding me in the middle of the beach.
I mean, I wouldn't be in the middle of the beach instead of like a trash planet. Might as well start looking for beautiful women out of this beach. But I feel like that is not going to be. That's not going to be considering who you are. But oh well, not every plan.
excuse me, gentlemen. I don't have any change on me, but could you tell me where the nearest payphone is?
You and me both.
You
Let's
hear
see.
I don't know, maybe-
Doofenshmirtz digs around his pocket and just doesn't pull out anything, but he pulls out a few like paper clips and screws and what seems to be like a broken remote for some kind of device.
I don't know. Maybe there's a
right,
payphone
welcome.
back in Bush.
I'm just staring directly at Rufus and just muttering to myself, I'm gonna kill that guy.
you hear rustling in the bushes, and out jumps an imp-like creature wearing a jacket, a brown
Oh.
trench coat.
I get it
It's
now.
one of the locals. Kill it.
I'm dreaming. I must have gotten knocked out pretty hard in that last match.
I'm clearly not dreaming because no one dreams about someone else claiming to be dreaming.
Well, if we go by the back and forth between who's screaming and who's not screaming, I think it's pretty safe to say that none of us are screaming.
The
Unless we
creature
are.
is running towards you, getting ready to strike. When you hear a voice from behind you, she's saying, "Look out!" And you turn and you see a woman who looks to be in her 60s running towards you with a pair of headphones around her neck.
Another local, kill her!
Uh,
So did I have like a gun on me whenever I washed up on the beach, or did that get lost in the ocean?
that got lost.
Fuck.
Um,
Dan immediately
I'll
assumes
be
the
I'll be
fighting pose.
wildly checking all of my pockets looking for my lost gun.
Dan enters
Can
his
I-
idle animation.
Can I roll a strike with intent to throw the screws at the trenchcoat imp?
sure.
Yeah, where's the...
Do I have a baggie of meth?
No.
Alright,
Fuck. I don't have anything.
You have to make your meth, dude.
I didn't remember strike with intent. I think that's
Do
with
your meth. Do
dark.
your meth.
Yeah.
It is with Dark, yeah.
Yeah, flat 0 on that. 8. So that's a neutral success.
Where? Oh,
I'm going.
You're doing it.
I'm going to
okay.
say it's like defend myself from harm, like because out of pure instinct, just throwing whatever that Doofenshmirtz has in his hand, just throwing these screws and paper clips at this trench coat imp.
Well,
Get away from me, you stupid thing.
I'm going to say that your attempt was enough to get the imp to back off for a few moments, which is long enough that the woman reaches you and pulls out a cassette player and presses play.
Hey, we were just talking about this.
Yeah, I know. She disappears into a cloud of TV static, and when the cloud fades away, you see what looks to be a dragon made out of gears. This dragon shoots a jet of some sort of energy at the imp and absolutely obliterates it.
You know,
Are
if
you
I
sure
had a
this
nickel
isn't a
for every
dream?
time I've seen somebody transmogrify themselves into a dragon to obliterate some poor defenseless creature, I would have 2 nickels. It isn't a lot, but at least that's happened twice.
I'm gonna make a running tally of how many times you say that.
I think Rayer's still just emotionally staring at this happening, and just also just like says to herself, "Cool."
Hey, no fair.
You're sure this isn't a dream? Because this looks pretty dreamlike to me.
Oh, this better not be a dream, because I don't want to wake up back in the pony.
So the dragon turns back into a cloud of TV static and then back into the woman you saw a moment ago. She apologizes for the situation. I'm
You
sorry.
better be sorry. You almost killed us.
I'm sorry, everyone. You are not dreaming. You have washed ashore the land of New Wirral. So
New world, huh? Well, it certainly is a different world than the one I was in before.
Wait, you mean like America?
Good. Could you tell
Wirral.
us where the daiquiri bar or something? Or space or something? My feet are killing me.
Every now and then,
So
people from across time and space will be dragged to this island. We don't know why. And for a long time, people were stuck here. We had a civilization that built here over the span of about 100 years. But you are in luck. Recently, someone found a way off the island, and I can take you there, and you will all go right on your merry way back to where you came from.
Thank God.
No
I have
Wait,
business
nobody
way.
got
to
about a
attend to.
boat within the last 100 years?
This is the first time I look at water, like actual water. I am not going back, lady, granny, or whatever you are.
I could care less what everyone else's plans here are, but I have business to attend to back home, so the sooner we go, the better.
Well, if you want to stay, you are welcome to. All of us came from different worlds, and when the exit, when the exit back to our own worlds was sorry, I'm thinking the right word. When the exit back to our worlds was restored, some of us decided to stay behind. I am one of those people. I am the captain of the Rangers. I effectively see to it that everyone on this island is kept safe.
So you're
Oh.
fed?
Ex-fed, but yes.
Well, I wasn't.
But you're hungry.
Well, I was. Well, I wasn't expecting to be able to leave. When do I get cassettes?
Oh. Yeah, well, I can get you set up with them if you would like to stay on the island for a little while.
Sure.
Well, I don't suppose why we shouldn't peruse around this technology. I could use to see it to myself, and with this new technology, I could use it to take over the entire state. Yeah.
I think I could.
I don't know
probably
about
you,
do
but I
it
just
in
wanna-
Mexico.
Well, you do you.
This might be the first time I catch a break in a long time, but I mean, I'm
Oh, boy.
so
So-
me.
I'm going to
Music?
start playing some music.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Yippee!
So she takes you not too far away to a collection of small buildings on a harbor. She introduces the place as Harbor Town. And she asks you if you're hungry. Points you to a cafeteria or points you to a small cafe where you can get yourself a coffee.
Oh,
Steven Smith's like
Oh.
fast walks over to the coffee machine, and, or like whoever's serving the coffee, and just basically praised himself that it's any better than the instant coffee chunk he's had back at his own place, and just like basically as soon as possible takes
Oh, yeah.
like a cup of coffee.
oh yeah, coffee. I know how to make.
So
There's-
how many people live here?
Right now, about a dozen.
I guess it doesn't, huh? Steven Smith takes a sip of coffee. Wow, this stuff's pretty good. Better than whatever the garbage that's selling back home is.
Do you have a hardware store?
Rufus gonna take a sip and be like, meh, it's missing some materials. And I had better.
Is there a hardware store nearby?
There is a mall that has some various materials that were left behind. The mall just kind of appeared one day on the island. We don't know how it got here.
I can kind of go to see that hardware. I can kind of see
Walter?
here myself, actually.
Well, can I go have Walter go just to the mall to scavenge supplies to make meth?
Yeah, furiously googling what the least amount of supplies you need to make meth is.
I feel like Steven Smith is going to follow anyone. I think that, like, if that plays out fully, that's how Steven Smith clues into Walter being a
Right.
you know?
Ryo follows them to watch them die horribly.
Rufus is also gonna be like, yeah, sure, let's go see if there's anything.
Well,
I mean,
there's a lot of monsters in the mall, so if you're going to go there, it's probably best that you get yourselves cassette players. We don't know why, but in this land, you can record the various monsters that roam it, and when you listen to those recordings, you can turn into those monsters to fight. It's the most effective way of protecting yourself around here.
Are you not, you've not got any like guns or laser beams or anything?
definitely.
I find a 9mm works pretty good.
I prefer to defend myself with my fists.
Your fists will not be enough against some of the monsters that roam here.
You haven't seen me.
Have you heard of ricin?
No.
Pretty sure no one in the fucking party except you has heard of rice.
Interesting.
So she presents each of you with she presents you all with a collection of cassette tapes to pick from. They all have various stickers on them. This is the part where you would get the cassette that matches the creature you chose as your starter.
Ah.
Oh,
As soon as you basically implied cassette piece, like, no, God fucking damn it.
I think
So I don't just control the worms. I am the worm.
Yes.
All the work.
Yeah, you are the worms.
Yes. So when you
Okay.
asked about
I-
boosting your worms with meth, I said
I
you
see.
should probably wait until now because you're going to be mething yourself here.
I see.
I think. I
Well, at
think
the very
in,
least, I will become the worms.
I
I won't be
think-
happy about it though.
You've been smart point towards like one with that, and he just starts going off on this big like fucking exorcism, like oversharing them. You see, there's no snowman. Reminds me of one of the harsh winters of Grosselstein. That's what always made me stand out in the freezing cold all day, throughout all day long, night long, throughout the harsh winter night. The drunkers on the street would always heckle me and say that Campard Freeze-Stand would freeze off my nose and snap it on like an icicle. It was terrifying. Campard Freeze-Stand never came for my nose, but I always stood there thinking he would. And Father would always say that I would be the sacrifice for Campard Freeze-Stand, so that Rodger may prosper. You see, when a family in Grosselstein has two sons, one is meant to be the sacrifice offered up to Campard, so the other sibling can prosper and get all of the fame and money that the sacrificed sibling would have received.
During
While
that
Doofy's
spiel,
yapping, Dan's going to be walking
Yeah.
silently over to the cassettes.
well,
Picks one up
Yeah.
that's covered in stickers that are full of shit that like preteen boys would absolutely love.
Rufus was just
Fucking,
kind of like paying attention to
dinosaurs
something
and
else.
guns and spaceships and jorts.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What were you saying? Like he legitimately was not paying attention throughout all of that.
Well,
I will just during that spiel silently pick up whatever cassette was closest to me, which happens to be the worm one.
Supposed to be Legion of Earthworms.
Yeah.
Like, Ruben's gone on the tangent for so long that everyone else had basically beaten him to anything else, and he's just
No.
the fucking snowman.
no, I think Ryo's the only one actually paying attention because I think it would be funny.
Paying
Cool,
attention, but you're not getting. There's nothing behind those eyes.
Cool, you gonna choose your cassette now?
Well, yes, I was getting that. Oh, gosh dang it, there's only one of these left. Right,
No, I think Ryo's going to be last.
right. Hey, I'll take the snowman. Fine. I'll be happy about it.
Yeah, Rayo looks at her selection, notices what the last tape is, and just mutters to herself, "God damn it."
Rufus turns around his own cassette and sees a picture of a clown and says like, I wanted one of the cool ones. Because I'm the clown. Again.
So, hasn't anyone here ever heard of an MP3 before?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, many of
What
us
are you
have.
talking about?
Like I said, the New World draws
the-
people in from across time and space. There are people. There have been people here from the Roman Empire, and there are people here from the from after the goose flu in that wiped out 80% of humanity.
Hold
I'm
on.
gonna pretend I didn't hear
Oh,
that, and we're gonna just move on.
Rayo
What did you
drops
just
his.
say?
Rayo
worry about it.
looks for a notepad and just notepad and pen, just whips it out and just jots down goose flu.
Rufus is going to make a mental note. Mental note. Kill any goose I find.
Like, are we going to assume that geese could kill off nearly the entirety of humanity?
Well,
No, a goose-borne disease
not
does,
necessarily. Your timeline
Yeah.
might be safe.
Kill
Well, I've been
geese,
hearing
yeah.
bird flu is coming back.
Geese are like birds.
So you had expressed interest in going to Fall Down Mall to retrieve some supplies.
Yes.
I think I could do with a little fix me up.
I can take you there. On the way, actually, is Knightsbridge Station, and that is the way out of here. So for those of you who want to leave, you can just leave when we get there.
Actually, the whole rounds of people.
So
Okay, out of character question I have to ask. Is this actually like real leaving, or is there gonna be story bullshit?
So she takes you out of town.
All right.
Past some rivers, you notice a couple of crabs with traffic cones on their heads. But you are urged to keep going.
Go, crabs.
And as you climb over a hill, she turns to you and says, "All right, so Knightsbridge Station is just over there. Once we get over this hill, it will be right in front of you. You can't miss it." You climb over the hill, and there's nothing there.
All right.
So what,
As
did we
I
miss it, or?
suspect.
So, where's the station, lady? Did you
She
fall off a
seems-
I go that way out.
She seems as confused as you are. The station appeared here 10 years ago, and it's been here ever since.
How do you miss a giant train station?
No, it's just gone.
Maybe we just went the wrong way. I mean, who cares? It's not like I'm planning on leaving anyways.
Well, I guess we'll just have to find it or
I,
build
for
it
one,
again
have-
or whatever we have
Well-
to do to get back.
Time to start a new life in paradise then.
All right. I get it. We have to jump through hoops.
I don't see that'll help us.
I don't.
Metaphorically.
I still don't see how that'll help us.
I don't mind being here, but I don't want to be here with the racists.
The what?
Huh? Wait,
Hmm?
where were you going racist?
Well, it can't be me. I'm not racist. I think.
I mean,
who's that
I don't think hating a certain platypus is racist, but
It's
Yeah,
not
that's
you.
how they
it's
all
also
start. I
not
don't
you.
hate platypus, but yeah, that's how they all start, Dr. Racist.
Racism.
Racist.
I think I think Ryo just like while Rufus isn't looking or whatever, I think just like points back to Rufus.
Doomsman's kind of like gasps a bit, like puts his finger up as if he's wanting to say them, and then puts it back down again and just nods and goes along with it, doesn't blink it up.
Fine.
So the woman
What they
is.
do?
So the woman is lost in thought there for a moment. Then she turns to you and says, "Well, I guess you're going to be here. I guess regardless of your decision, you were going to be here a little longer than anticipated. I should introduce myself to you. I am Iantha. I have lived on this island for about 20 years now. And I've largely been the one in charge of everything. We need to figure out what happened with the train station. I think our best option is to go to one of the other stations.
I have a better idea. What if we just stay here forever? Wouldn't that be nice?
I mean, I don't know about you, but there's an entire tri-state area that needs conquering with my name on it.
Yeah, and my students are waiting for me to get back.
I have
Okay,
meth to
so
sell.
we'll try.
Alright, well...
Did you say meth?
Ah,
What the
Wait,
fuck?
what?
I have a
I think the nerd meant meth. What a nerd.
man, that's
Meth
easy.
at home. Ah,
Boy, if you were talking to me like that in New Mexico, I'd put a bullet between your eyes.
Oh, good grief.
well, joke's on you. New Mexico doesn't exist. Ha!
Well, Fall Down Mall does have a train station. I can take you there and we can investigate it, and you can also search for any materials you might be looking for.
I suppose when in Rome, you do as the Romans did.
Which is...
Stay in.
Do your best with what you got.
But what did the Romans do?
Walter White is dumbfounded at the sheer ignorance of this man. There was a group of people several thousands of years ago that settled on the coast of Italy.
No, I know who the Romans are.
Okay. Okay, then you must be familiar with their culture, the Colosseum,
What should we
the
get?
Parthenon. That was the Greeks, actually.
I think I've
Wait,
probably
listen,
fought some people in the Colosseum, yeah.
They were so great. Why are they already dead? Huh? Huh?
Okay.
Well, it
So,
looks like I'm not the only one playing myself.
I think that's Walter is constantly explaining random science shit to Jesse in the show, so I think that.
I know, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just goofing, or am I?
so anyway, Iantha takes you through some woods, and then at the other end of the woods, you climb a small mountain, and at the top, sitting rather precariously, is a dilapidated mall.
I can't believe we climbed that mountain so fast.
What kind of an idiot puts a shop at the top of a mountain?
Right. Well, this is we don't shop here. We forage. Much like how people sometimes end up here on this island, so do materials. And many of those materials will just show up in this mall.
Can
Hey,
Walter
Dragon.
take sorry, go ahead.
So I my link move is whenever you think it would be funny to have a link with someone, make one. Can I make a link with the nation of Rome?
Okay.
Congratulations. The entire dead nation of Rome is now...
It's now an
Awesome.
expendable link.
I mean, I did say that there are people on this island from across time and space. I could throw in a Roman or two.
I think you literally did mention Rome already. I
You
think.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, can Walter take our guide aside for a second and ask about, like, because Walter is very interested in power, and he'd like to know if there are any other sources of protection that he could find on this island.
I'd like to think that Doomstorms is like eavesdropping slightly on the conversation, like very unsubtly so. Like it would be very easy for Walter to just see Doomstorms is kind of idling and loitering, just very unconvincingly. Holding a newspaper upside
I
down.
think he's just like, yeah, he's like reading like a newspaper, like very, very conspicuously.
So far, Walter is not alarmed by the antics of a cartoon villain, a literal cartoon villain.
He's hyper-realistic
Meanwhile-
3D Doofenshmirtz right now.
Oh no.
Meanwhile, Ryo is just staring vacantly and playing inside their head is gladiatorial combat.
Oh, Rufus is currently trying to plot a way to like basically stay here rent-free and avoid getting dragged into whatever's gonna happen now.
Basically, I'm right now just fishing for a source that I can, for my so be it mask off. Something that later on in the campaign I could reasonably say, well, the lady told me about this and that, or something like that.
With this
Walter's
revelation,
search for power.
yeah, with this revelation of like the cassette, so it is making me think that the mask off moment is just becoming the world.
Yeah. Well, no, because Walter, I think Walter would recognize as a very smart man, he would recognize that since this is a confluence of different worlds, then there must be different sources of power than the cassettes. He just wants to know like a lead or like where to find them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I can work with this. Iantha listens to him and just kind of cocks her head and then just sighs and says, well, there used to be these very powerful archangels that lived beneath this island. They were the ones that kept this island from being leavable. They kept us all trapped here. About 10 years ago, someone came and they and their friends beat the Archangels and opened up the Knightsbridge station. I think there is a good chance that they might have returned.
Great, thanks for the spoiler.
And this is my key to power. How?
We just have to beat up some biblical angels or something or other, sounds like.
Are you suggesting that I ingest angel blood?
Or demon blood. It could be possible we could find demons. Demons fighting angels, it makes sense.
Actually, I'm in my head envisioning Walter White as like the fucking inverted saint.
Oh, now you're
biblically accurate, horrific angel deity.
Like, I wanna set the record of like I am taking Doofenshmirtz like semi after like the first Interstitial campaign, so he has had actual experience with demons and angels before.
Also, for what it's worth, Lee, I have twisted things a bit, so this is not entirely accurate to canon.
That was in character.
Okay, just making sure.
It's hard to tell when you're playing the character whose job is to break character.
Yeah,
Is
the point.
Unfair and be like, oh, why is Dr. Terry the fair now? You can give us more reasons to distrust you.
I suppose I must be willing to do whatever it takes to survive in
We
this
don't
world.
fully understand the archangels, but if you were looking for power, I guess they would probably be the best place to look. Though I urge
All
you
right.
not to. Those things are very dangerous.
My old man always told me that there are no shortcuts to true strength, Mr.
My name's Walter. Walter White.
Mr. White.
Oh, hello, Brown. Very nice to meet you.
I feel like it's the mental spark is only because now hit me of what this party interaction
Yeah.
is going to be like.
Ryu,
Right.
Ryu is giving a middle finger to the sky. No one knows why.
Kids.
So, are you ready to enter the mall?
You know, I want to look for like
If we could have could at least come up with a plan.
It's very clear that Doofenshmirtz is filibustering to try and avoid being at the front and center of a conflict or combat.
Yeah, something's gonna.
He's also very hesitant, only because he thinks this is some sort of like hotel paradise thing and just wants to go and lace about instead of like going into the mall. So that he heard that has. Mm-hmm.
There really is no way to get yourselves independent without a bit of trial by fire. So, if anything happens, I am here. I can hold my own against just about anything on this island.
Then why don't you go in and sex for us, huh?
I didn't catch that.
Like, why did you? If you can handle yourself so well, why don't you just go in and give us our stuff? That easy for you, ain't it?
Because I'm not your mom.
Yeah, obviously not. You're not my mom. Why would you clarify?
Well,
No
it sounds
matter
like the
what.
only way to do is by doing, and then Dan does that fighting game thing where he slaps his open fist with his closed fist.
The only way to learn is by learning.
The only way to play is by playing.
And the
It's
only
by
way
beginning.
without
Rufus
further
is
ado,
gonna-
let's begin.
Rufus just gonna cross his arms and be like,
Doofenshmirtz
fine!
Doofenshmirtz sighs and just get like unintentionally puts himself in front of like the rest of the main party.
Walter just flexes his fists slightly and sets his jaw and starts walking towards the mall.
Dan could not be walking in a more arrogant fashion.
All right. So you enter the mall, and you are greeted by the sight of various monsters. Various extremely marketed monsters.
Is this fighting foodons or what?
You see these yellow creatures with blue overalls. You see
Oh no.
these green
Oh, no.
cubed four-legged creatures with frowny faces.
Oh.
Oh.
And
No.
you see an ordinary rabbit.
Is that a rabbit?
The rabbit turns to you and screams
Oh my!
and runs towards you in a drunken manner.
Look! Oh,
Oh, I was expecting like Monty Python rabbit.
That'd be a little
Yeah,
too
me
high
too.
level for our current
For our
Yeah,
current
I-
setup, we die
That's-
instantly.
that's-
scripted loss. We all die.
How's our hidden super boss we can find?
Finally,
I
a
want-
worthy adversary.
Can I? Can I punt it?
Do
Can I punt the rabbit?
Do we want to? Sure, you can punt it.
Great. I think that's definitely going to be tint the heart or strike with a tint.
Okay.
Right, yeah, well that dark that then.
Hold on, I just
Roger
realized I
combat,
don't
should
have.
actually get the playbook.
Yeah, I have it open.
Are basic moves just things that everyone has?
Yeah, basic
Yep.
moves are things everyone has. Your I forget what they're called. Your special moves are
Yeah,
things that only
I
you
have
can do.
my.
And I'll
Okay.
tell you right now, your combat proficiency will improve by using your cassettes.
Okay.
I don't know about that one.
Doofenshmirtz, like, semi in fear of this rabbit just hissing at him, tries to like figure out how the heck the cassette works.
Can I ask? It's explanation point roll, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, you could get the.
Oh, you're doing it in voice. Okay.
Yeah, why not in
Okay.
the
I
Yeah,
can
no, I
do
mean-
it. I'll
chat?
do it in interstitial next time.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's an 11.
What's the- What's the okay? I'm
You
gonna look
punt
for
it, and it gets its head stuck in the ceiling.
Do I not get the
Yeah, to take your
choose my
two
options?
choices.
Oh, right. Sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself.
All right. Well, I mean that sounds like deal great harm. Take control of the situation.
Okay, you punt them and they get their head stuck in the ceiling.
The classic deal great harm and take control of the situation.
So Rufus is gonna like gonna throw his head at one of the yellow overall creatures because he thinks it's some kind of like grenade or something. He doesn't know what that is. He's just gonna throw it at that.
Doofenshmirtz is just kind of fiddling with the just trying to figure out how to activate it still.
Does this
No,
count as
gonna
a
roll two.
combat? So, and if so, should we roll an initiative roll or something to?
I feel like Interstitial works better because it's a bit more free flowy than combat. Like I did kind of try doing it without initiative in
I
the
guess.
last campaign. and
I
that
feel
felt
like
good.
people are going to be talking over each other constantly.
It is easier whenever it's a set order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What determines order though?
That's a good
Roll
question.
initiative. You can just roll a d20 and we could do highest roll.
Yeah, and so I do just one for the general enemies, right?
If you want.
You can do it that way. It doesn't matter so long as
There's barely any goddamn rules for GMing with, or like guidelines or anything for GMing for fucking interstitial.
Wait.
Yeah, roll 1d20.
Yeah, you need a space.
Oh.
Awesome! Yay!
Yo, Doofenshmirtz sucks.
No, critical failure.
Wait, why'd you roll a D? Okay.
I know,
Just
just
for
for
initiative.
initiative,
I don't know. Just
oh.
the easiest way.
To determine. Yeah.
Okay.
With a decent amount of.
Do I immediately go first for doing initiative?
You basically did a surprise attack.
Yeah.
So I'm first,
that's
having
right
already
there.
done my
So you
thing,
rolled a
I guess.
21 for initiative.
Yeah. I did that.
All right, so Iantha's gonna largely be taking the back seat here and jump in if the need arises.
So
I do love the squad rolling the 1, 2, 3 over here.
why D100?
It's very in line with the
Somehow
character you're
Daniel
playing.
Piki is the one out of the 3 that sucks the least.
Alright, I think then the enemies go first then after.
Oh my gosh, that is really funny. You 1, a 2, and a 3. Okay. So one of those yellow creatures with blue overalls starts babbling incoherently and running towards you with a banana. And they throw the banana at one of you. I'm going to say that they throw it at Rio. Since Rio did first blood here. Now I just need to See how that works. This is my first time, can you tell?
It's fine. It's
Classic.
fine.
The classic first time experience of, oh shit, what am I doing?
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Let's see, what page am I looking to? Combat. So non-player characters work the same way as player characters, is that right?
Generally, like NPC characters, like random enemies have much lower harm count.
Right.
Like,
Well, obviously, but
than
yeah.
do.
But yeah, they're rolling and whatever.
If you want them to, or you can just take 3 actions depending on how you want to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Alright,
see that this is kind of like D&D, where it's like there's rules, but like everyone just does their own thing.
This is gonna get homebrewed as fuck. I'm telling you
Here's
that
the
right now.
Here's the thing with like Interstitial. There's barely any guidelines for GMing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I can tell.
rolled a 6. I mean, frankly, if it was anything but like a 10 or higher, I would have just said it was a whiff. So this is a whiff.
I just
Am I next then?
Watch out, little
Yeah.
girl. It's throwing bananas at you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Iantha shouts to play your cassette.
Walter sticks the cassette in his little player and presses play, and is incredibly surprised and slightly disgusted to find that he's become a pile of worms. However, he does instinctively grasp in this worm form that he has like a psychic connection with the earth. And so I'm gonna, I guess, strike with intent and like try to like psychokinesis or geokinesis a rock at one of the minions.
Is magic still a thing you roll in 2e?
Oh wait,
Yeah, magic is mastery roll. Yeah.
well that's just what worms do.
They do
Magic.
earth magic.
Worms make the dirt.
Worms
and
are
dirt
the
makes
geomancers
earth,
of reality.
And people hold hands and feel terrific.
How about instead of that? Well, then what the fuck am I gonna do? I'm a pile of worms. Do I just become
You
a giant
chose to
worm?
become a pile of worms, dude.
My brother in Christ, you chose the worm.
Okay.
It was your
Here's
This is
here's
why I
what I'll do
urge you
then.
against a
Here-
single
okay.
worm.
Here is what I'm gonna do then. My pile of worms will form into a giant fist and smash down on the minion.
Now we're
Strike with
talking.
intent, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that'd be a dark roll, strike with intent.
Strike with intent. Okay, so what do I do? Roll with
Uh,
dark.
you
On a
6
10
roll with
plus,
dark.
choose
Dark
2. On a
fire.
79, choose 1.
Yeah.
I have 0 as dark. So I guess I'm just rolling 2d6, huh?
Yep.
Oh, 2d6.
Oh,
6.
That would be a failure.
That I think that is a whiff by just
Yeah.
barely.
Yeah.
I'm still getting used to my worm body, and so I fuck it up.
Yeah.
My worm body.
There is the option to affect the outcome.
Yeah.
What do I
Well-
have to do that?
Roll
It's the-
roll 7 or above. Oh, I know. Affect the outcome, actually. Yeah, no, affect the outcome. No, I was misreading. Affect the outcome. You can spend a
Roll back
link
the
to,
clock.
like, I think re-roll a die.
I don't want to spend a link. That sounds expensive. How does link spending work? Do I still have the link, or if
Uh,
it's spent, is it useless to me?
if for links that are not like locked, once you spend it, it's gone, and you have to remake it by rolling the make a link with the particular character you want to reform that link with.
This sounds like a pain in the ass. I don't want to do that right now. I'll miss. I've missed.
Alright,
Walter's
well, I mean, it
saying
is a
this all to
thing.
himself in real time.
Iantha just says, "It's okay. It takes a while to get used to your new forms."
I cannot talk because I am worms.
Use the worms to form a mouth and then talk with the mouth.
I suppose next it would be Dan Hibiki.
Dan looks at the cassette that he chose. He really does not want to become worms. He picked the one that had the strongest looking stickers on it. But man, he does really not want to become worms.
Come on, put it in. The worms have already been ruled out. I'm sure it won't be any more humiliating.
You say worms have been ruled out, it can still be worms. They didn't
Look how many
they
worms
could
there
still be
are.
worms.
And this was the setup to make us all.
Look at how many worms he is right now.
You think
Yes,
they
again,
would just
that's a lot of worms, but you gotta believe that it won't be worms, or you're not gonna get anywhere.
you think they would have worms too?
I mean,
I'm pretty sure there's more than 2 worms out for that, but that's beside the point.
For all I know, this is a sick joke and we're all gonna get the worms one. Dan, still kind of like slightly insulted at the fact that mentor figure whose name I've forgotten but it begins with an A. Iantha.
It starts with an I actually, but
Iantha. It starts with an A for me, because I spelled it in my brain in real time while you said it to me. Iantha slighted Dan by saying that his fists would be ineffective, and Dan wants to prove that his fists are very effective.
Also, can I? I think I have something. Can I use my protege to go Danny Vicky to fight the things with his fist?
Well, he was already gonna do that. He was already gonna use his fists.
Yeah.
And so, you know, the little yellow overalled freaks are a little too short to be punched, and so he walks over to one of the green four-legged ones that are just perfect punching height.
Oh no.
And he's going to strike with intent. Reeling back with a face that looks like he's about to take the biggest shit. He lets out a huge swing, which is supposedly a punch.
Okay. Well,
Okay, roll.
Alright, give me a second. I've been checking my email this whole time because I've been getting a billion emails from coworkers. Yeah, Dark's a flat 0. Okay. Strike with intent.
Ooh,
very good.
actually hit.
nice.
Yeah,
Once you're
I'm
off,
gonna.
Just one.
Man. Okay, here it is. Choose one. Let's. Let's move before they react, I think.
oh,
Using Dan's nimble maneuvering from all of those years that he spent practicing martial arts, he's gonna bob and weave
You notice that the pile of worms looks very impressed.
Just giving a thumbs up.
Yeah.
That's why I named you.
the green frowny thing is expanding and making a sizzling sound.
Dan thinks this means it's working.
Meanwhile, Doomson's in the back. Doomson's in the back, like, do you guys smell something? Smells like something's it's like burning.
You
I'm
smell
not having a squelch.
Wait,
but
hold on.
Something's burning.
Hold on.
Sometimes when I punch fast enough, my fists
I'm
catch on
worms.
fire.
I'm
Do you smell
worms. I can't
gunpowder?
talk. I can't warn him about triglycerin, whatever the fuck TNT is called.
You fell for the classic blunder. I was Pepsi Man last time I played, and every time I wanted to say anything, I fucking couldn't. And now you are the Pepsi Man, but you're the Pepsi Man who's made out of worms.
Worms form into an exclamation point.
you
Worms try their best
give
to
him a
spell
can of
TNT.
worms.
Yeah, the worms like turn into an exclamation point and then try to spell TNT, but it's just a bunch of writhing worms that are kind of falling apart, so it doesn't quite land.
Well, Rufus is next.
Okay, so I'm gonna flip, quote unquote, flip a coin, because I'm pretty sure I have to roll a D2 with this system.
Right, nitrotoluene.
One, Rufus has paid attention to what the nice lady told him. Two, he didn't. And he's gonna throw the cassette at the minions if he doesn't. He didn't pay attention.
Oh god.
You're really pulling a Stanley over here.
He didn't listen.
You rolled
He's
a
gonna like.
1d2.
He's
It was
going
a
to
coin
look
flip
at his.
simulation.
Oh.
He's going to look at his cassette and like, okay, this is how it works, right? And he's gonna like throw it at one of the overall creatures. I guess that would be attack with intent.
Strike with intent, you said?
Yeah, throwing the cassette at the.
What is your? And we all have
fuck.
like one darkling.
That's to be expected.
Or-
Iantha's pinching the bridge of her nose in exasperation.
Okay.
I think I got. Stupensons is gonna figure out. He's gonna be the second person to actually utilize like the cassette swap play, and
Yeah,
he presses it, and in comes Little Sit Gak for Sin Megami Tensei.
Oh wow,
city
yeah,
of-
that's extremely a whiff. The cassette clatters to the ground.
he
And,
just like throws Slim Bloody and he just falls like a couple feet in front of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Stupensons, upon like utilizing the cassette swap play, feels the icy power flowing through him, and is like, now I'm the Campert Friezestein, and he'll attempt to cast some form of ice magic against this now hissing, frowning creature. Oh, I didn't roll the. Well, it's gonna be a +1 anyway, and it failed.
Oh wait,
Fucking
I don't
love
have to
Spike
use a
Emblem.
link to cast magic.
No, you don't.
No, it's to affect the outcome.
Oh.
I think I'm going to try and affect the outcome though, because I just reread it, and on a 7 through 9, it's take harm or spend a link, so I can take harm if it flubs up. So I'm gonna actually try and affect the outcome real quick. 'Cause I don't mind even so it's taking a little harm to try and like affect the outcome.
To know, from my understanding, affect the outcome is also something you could do for like someone else's role.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna try affect the outcome with Dark. Wait. That's
Wow. Even
making
shitter.
things worse. Stupensmith is really overexerting. Like, I'm going to say that's at least the one harm that I was planning on taking if it was 7 through 9. Or I'll allow you to say how much worse it is.
So this is for magic.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, where is magic in here?
Don't you have a plus
something
2?
is broken bad and the situation has escalated. Get out of there now. Not Nico's trying to cast Ice Magic on this fucking
Oh wait, no.
creeper.
You only have one mastery link.
Yeah.
It's something that's broken bad. Okay. So, and who were you
What were you
casting the magic
expecting?
on?
The creeper.
Okay, I'm going to say that the creeper detonated. Which
It becomes an ice creeper, an explosion of ice, maybe.
Like at the very least, I have to imagine.
you know what?
Dan
Sure, we'll
Hibiki
make it
using-
an ice creeper.
Yeah,
You made it an ice creeper. It made a frost explosion, and now the ground is very slippery.
I was gonna say Dan Hibiki, who's caught in the blast, becomes a frozen, like, just him doing a thumbs up.
Yeah,
In
but,
the
like I
next
Dan
video.
Hibiki saw what happens when you cast a spell you don't know.
I'm
and then
gonna
dude,
be.
that's like Doofenshmirtz literally did that. He tried to cast a spell he didn't know.
Out of character, Dragon. I'm gonna be honest. When you first described the creeper as like a four-legged horse-like or frowning horse-like creature, I thought it was going to be TBH.
I never said horse-like.
Oh, okay. Well,
This
you
is
said
Dan
it was
Hibiki right now.
four-legged. Did it?
God.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely putting like one harm on Doofenshmirtz's harm clock already for getting caught. on
Yeah,
that
I'm gonna
explosive.
say that's one harm to Dan Hibiki as well.
Ryu is going to say out loud, "Nice Shark Boy Lover Girl reference, Dan." I don't think he knows what that is.
The worms have gathered together for warmth.
For warmth.
But presumably that the creeper is no more, though.
Oh
right?
yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
The minion is still around, as I recall.
Yeah, and it's my turn, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Ryu is going to look at the cassette, close her eyes, take a deep breath, puts it into the cassette, plays it, becomes Sprout Mole. Well, I knew this was coming.
Worms. So far, we've got worms, a weird snowman, and a plant. You already gave us a good selection, didn't you?
Because he's kind of like mildly
think-
scathing.
Ryu's going to mull through her mind, thinking about what the shit they could possibly do in this body, and then thinks to Dan Hibiki and thinks to herself, well, if Street Fighter is real, and I want to use cast magic to do a mouth Hadouken at the minion.
Okay.
To cast a spell
Awesome.
you don't know.
Just an arm Hadouken.
What the fuck are these rolls?
Holy
We are
shit.
so amazing.
We are doing so
Uh,
poorly in this opening session now.
Okay, I think
So when you say combat proficiency
Going
increases
right-
when we transform, what did you have in mind?
I had in mind that that successes would be better. But you
we're
haven't
still
had any
waiting.
successes.
I
Yo,
had a
don't worry
success,
about
but I
it.
wasn't
I've got this.
transformed.
Oh right, yeah, because you ducked and
Got
you just
this.
decided to duck and weave instead.
Yeah, I decided to duck and weave.
And then you got rolled up by the ice cream stuff.
Yeah, because the hissing means that it's working.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryo's going to attempt the Malith Hadoken, and it just like fucking explodes, and she's catapulted horizontally smacked into like the wall or whatever.
The I believe it's my turn.
Yeah, the Gestalt worm entity gets to go next, I think. Oh wait, no, because it's enemy turn, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
And then-
enemy turn.
Thing.
Minion.
Okay, so
Enemy.
Enemy.
the minion starts running towards the worms, slips on the ice, lands face first, and just sort of swivels into the worms.
Oh, that was really funny.
I guess that is
Okay.
pretty funny.
All right. The worms.
And I'm gonna see what. Not even
Yeah.
I am exempt.
I love sessions where the rolls are like this. It's so good.
Like 30 this time.
So I assume my worms just kind of slither over the guy.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, it does about as much damage as being gently bumped by a
Sliding thing.
face-planted bean.
You effectively just got hit by a curling stone.
Yeah.
a very slow moving curling stone.
Okay. My worms. I'm gonna use magic now. The worms align themselves into magic sigils, and a boulder manifests and
Bolter
drops on the
bite.
minion. A boulder manifests and drops on the minion.
Yeah, you get at least +2 to your magic because of your.
I do get +2 to magic. So that's 9 total.
Yeah, 9.
Yeah.
I think you can actually do a plus modifier on the.
Yeah, you
Actual-
can.
You can.
You can.
I could forget.
Lee did it earlier
Oh yeah.
to get a whopping total
Yeah.
of 3.
Snake
Yeah,
eyes
Snake
for the
Eyes.
third mutant eye.
So I'm good. This works.
Yes.
Yeah, this works basically the way you wanted it to.
Nice.
So, yeah, casting magic.
It has a complication, but it works.
My boulder crushes the minion.
Okay. What is going to be the major complication?
I'm imagining because the minion is splattering into like realistic gibbs. Just-
I was thinking it flattens into a fucking yellow stain.
I was thinking Half-Life 1 gives gorgeous sound.
That part of Yoshi's Island, where Baby Bowser pounds Kamek into a flat paste and then gently lets him blow off screen.
Yeah, you know what? Let's just go with that. The minion gets flattened, but the complication is that it worked too well, and I will get to
Oh.
that in a moment. So the battle has ended. Do we like mark?
Anyone got an ice pick?
the worms. Can the worms use our collective body heat to and friction power to melt Dan?
Sure.
Okay.
We'll through the power of post-battle status conditions wearing off.
Yeah,
Through the power of time being unlimited when non-combat.
Yeah.
Classic.
Hello, cat.
I can't feel my fingers. Is that normal?
Sometimes.
The worms are now Walter White again.
Yeah,
I've become
like,
a
It was
man.
just as disengaged the fucking cassette tape.
You should probably run your fingers under warm water.
Yeah. Iantha sigh. Ow. Iantha sighs and it explains. This is why I recommend using your cassettes. The forms you will take will be much more responsive to this kind of
Right.
this kind of combat, and you can recover much faster this way.
What,
I
Ryu?
gotta say,
Can't we turn into something cool, like a giant robot with chainsaws or something?
Fine, as long as
Well,
it's not
I was hoping to teach you about that, but it appears that you have cleanly disposed of the enemy in a bit of a more extreme manner than I expected.
Ryu is the
mean?
sprout. Go on.
Oh, go. Sorry, I was just gonna say, what do you mean?
Okay,
Well, she reaches into her coat and pulls out some more cassettes, and she says, "These are blank cassettes. We use them to record the monsters that roam around the island. If you successfully record one, you will have a tape of it and can transform into it."
Personally speaking, I wasn't
Right.
really asking to wind up become a marketable yellow cyanide pill or anything, but the offer's appreciated. Maybe if we find something, a bit more worthy of taking over an entire tri-state area, for example, then we can talk base.
Right. Well,
I want to know who fought the worms and whether they were a worthy opponent.
I'd like to capture them.
oh
Yeah, someone had to capture the worms. How did they get captured? Were they strong? Were they causing problems? Or did some guy just see a worm and be like, yeah, worms?
Wow.
It's more like
Iantha thinks back to what was effectively Route 1 trash that she just decided to pick up, and then she's like, "Yeah, they went. Yeah, they went through lots of effort for this."
Oh, yeah.
Walter squints at
Right.
her.
Rufus is overcome with curiosity and is gonna actually put his cassette on his player now.
On his what?
Just to see on his cassette player now, because he's now actually curious what he will transform him into. He thinks like maybe some sort of like evil demon clown or something, judging by the package.
Okay.
I'm just gonna take these from one side
So,
to keep this big.
Has he pressed play?
Yes.
Okay. Well, now he is a Jimbo head.
Wait,
What am I?
who invited the clown head? Man, I thought the guy voting baby head was weird.
What have you done to me, lady?
Can our creatures talk at all?
The
I mean, I was
ones
going.
inside the cassettes?
I mean, the ones in the cassettes can't. I was going to say that you can talk as your creatures. Unless you choose otherwise.
No, hold on, I have an idea. Like, Ref was going to say, like, what Don't to be lady, and he just goes like, Dutch.
Does this play like a speech bubble off to the side?
Yeah.
At least he can communicate.
Well, don't worry about it. I'm sure we'll find you another one of those cassettes that's a bit more able to talk and all.
Ryo's still stuck to the wall and dazed. Falls out face first. Transforms back into their human form and then reaches out a hand for the cassette.
Yeah, okay. So Iantha gives her an empty cassette.
So do we all get one, or is it just like the one?
Let's just say you all get one.
Okay.
Rufus is going to immediately transform back. I'm like, I don't like being a clown. What can I even do as a clown? Laugh at them? Yeah, some help you are.
Balloon animals, maybe?
Ryo is still just laying on the ground.
Hey, little girl, you better get up.
I don't say
Sorry, I'm trying
shit.
to copy and paste all the moves from the playbook into my player character sheet, so it's easier for me to keep track of them. So if I'm not talking, that's why.
Yeah.
Definitely paste only the ones that you actually have unlocked, because then it makes it
Right.
easier to tell
Well,
which ones you have.
I'm using the
The
general
base.
moves,
He was pacing in the base.
like strike with
Oh.
an shit.
Okay, I got you.
And
Yeah, I already have my 3 starter moves.
Yeah.
For my
Anyway,
specific.
I reflavored the description of the Jack Frost that I put on my like item list. I hope you appreciate that.
All right, let's see what you did. But you chose it.
The little creatures.
Doofenshmirtz was basically forced into it by everyone else choosing before him.
So the little creatures in the cassettes, they can't come out and talk to us, can they?
Those are those are cassettes. They are ordinary cassettes.
They're just ordinary. But when you use them, the creature comes out of them, right?
No, you become the creature.
You don't.
I'm not asking you as the DM to explain it. I'm asking as Dan.
I'm answering as Iantha.
Okay.
You don't know what TF is?
Oh my god.
True friendship?
Also, when you said
Sure.
Jimbo, I thought like Rufus was going to transform into the Joker card, but no, it's just like a giant Jimbo head. That's terrifying.
The rules of this world are different from where I came from.
But generally something I'm not allowed to say in a kid show.
I was hoping I'd be able to train with mine, but I guess that's not the case, huh?
No, you can swear doof.
Oh, so I get to transform.
Finally, I can finally say fuck, and nobody's gonna care about it.
There you go.
Okay, so glasses nerd over there gets to transform into a swarm of worms, while I get to transform into a clown. This isn't funny.
That's what the heart link is for doof.
What is finally being made aware of the fact he's not bound by the consequence of the kids cartoon anymore and can say
Correct. and that's why Ryo has a mastery link with doof. She's not the pupil. She's here to teach him the ways of cursing.
Well, no, Doofenshmirtz could always swear. It's just that he wasn't allowed to in the constraints of the children's cartoon. He wants to swear. He can swear now. It's liberating.
All right. Walter is scrounging for any chemicals he can find.
And Doofenshmirtz, meanwhile, is bouncing around for like scrap metal, electronics, and wires.
I mean, you'll definitely find scrap metal.
Yeah.
Dan is psyching himself up. It's not gonna be
Walter-
worms. It's not gonna be worms.
Walter, I'd like to take. Is there like a toy department?
Yeah.
Is that
Oh,
reasonable?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've
Walter is
got-
gonna
I've-
collect all of the sand from inside of Etch-a-Sketches.
Oh, there's,
I'm gonna ask an out of character question real quick.
Yeah.
With my playbook move of combine and logic, if I had a surplus of cassette beasts, hardy heart, would I be able to do like SMT style fusion to make a new arbitrary one out of them?
Oh, that'd be fun.
I'm
Like
gonna.
using combine and logic?
For now, I'm
Yeah.
gonna say no.
Okay.
We can't chaz it up too quickly.
Um,
I don't know about you, lady, but I want to go outside. I'd sign up for killer bananas or whatever that big shit thing was.
Oh,
This is
where's the
the-
nearest dead archangel?
Iantha nods, and takes you through the mall to a tunnel that heads underground. You're not really sure how this works, given the mall is precariously atop a small mountain, but it works. And you head into a subway station. A dark subway station. Let's see. And the place looks very. The mall is already dilapidated, but this place looks even worse. You know, the walls are, tiles are peeling off. There's water dripping everywhere. But you head further in, and you reach a barred off door, and Iantha calls into the door, "Hello?" And you are met with a response of, "Ah, you've arrived." And you see a shape wander forward, and as the shape hits the light and you can see what they are a crab wearing a wizard hat.
What?
Awesome.
This-
Don't happen to be a
This
part of
is
some
the
sort of, like,
archangel.
where's an organization? Or do you like some like secret agent with like magic or something?
Oh, good, Steve.
No,
A
this
normal crab.
this is
I
Magic
thought-
Crab, envoy to the Merline, the train that runs in and out of New Wirral. Magic
Ryo
Crab.
pets the crab.
What?
Ryo pets the crab.
The crab is taken aback, and responds with responds with a bit of hesitation, and then says, "I guess you all must be new to the island, yes?"
Suppose you could say
Sure.
that.
Well, it appears that we've had some complications on the Merline, and as such, Knightsbridge Station has been shut down until further notice.
Some row for two
Does
then.
this have anything to do with the dead Archangel?
Well,
Actually, where
that's
are
just
you,
it.
crap?
He turns to look at Iantha and simply says, "I think Olaf has returned." And Iantha nods and says, "I was afraid of that."
All of the stick in your mouth?
Walter White says this out loud in character.
No.
Imagine.
Iantha nods gravely and says, "So, what are we to do about this?" And Magic Crab says, that for the first time in nearly a decade, there is a train arriving on Platform B. Iantha nods and turns to everyone. This is going to be very dangerous, what we are about to head into. I am going to ask that you all stay back while I handle this. But this will likely be an Archangel.
I'd like to come along if that's the case.
You can come along, but stay back. So she leads you all.
It's kind of like hesitantly, like makes a motion to like wants to put something forward, but it's just like he just nervously gulps instead and just kind of like awkwardly dances around the situation, but like ultimately probably comes along.
I don't know if we should be listening to a crab.
This
I
crab.
mean, it's a pretty sophisticated crab.
This crab is the.
What is it?
This crab is the only one who will convey the messages of the Merline, the strongest archangel of all. We had best listen to anything he has to say.
Wait, this crab is an Archangel?
We're back where we started, everybody.
No. An envoy
Okay.
to one.
Oh, just an envoy. Okay.
So you're
Things
you're
are very different here than in New Mexico.
you are led further into the subway, and you approach a rail, a stop, and Iantha holds out her hand towards you all to stay back as she approaches the station. It is then that you hear a train pulling in. You see the lights, and everything just starts to feel off.
Why did I come here? Why did I come here? Why did I come here? Why did I come here?
Please don't be worms. Please don't be worms. Please don't be worms.
Walter gets
Right,
the
is-
cassette ready to put in, but hasn't put it in quite yet.
Raya stares blankly.
So the train pulls into the station, and out of it comes something not of this world. You cat, get out of here.
You
You.
get out of here.
That's not very intimidating.
My name is Mr. Wilson, and I'm here to say.
You will serve as my vessel this time. The voice simply says, the voice, which seems to belong to a human-like figure made out of shattered glass, does not seem to be directed at Iantha. It seems to be directed at all of you.
I'll do whatever as long as I get power out of it, so...
You're not the boss of me.
Iantha...
Kind of looking to, not
I accept.
die practically.
Of course, Walter accepts.
Now, this... whatever this is, it absolutely exudes, like, final boss tier energy.
Well, then I definitely accept.
But, in addition to that, it appears severely wounded.
Well, you know, that's how it goes.
It is at this point that Iantha gives you one more
Can I
look
drink his blood?
and transforms into that same dragon made of gears. And now, combat starts.
Oh, shit.
Well-
Okay.
I guess we're rolling for
Roll
initiative.
initiative,
then.
I guess. Fucking...
Alright.
God damn it.
11. We have to reroll. We have to. Okay, how do we tie break this?
Oh, I was.
Alright, it's fucking 1d20.
No.
I just think D20 is like a
Yeah.
better range
For
for
initiative
initiative,
anyway.
specifically.
I keep
Yeah.
sucking set at initiative
So
roll.
that's Iantha
I rolled
and
an 11, and Rio also rolled an 11.
No.
Okay, you
No,
go
that was
first.
previous.
this is the Archangel.
Yeah. Alright.
Okay, so Rufus goes after the Archangel then.
Okay, so the first one to act here is Rio.
Yeah, separate.
Once again.
Once again, they transform into a sprout mole. Desperate to think of whatever the hell they could possibly do in this goddamn shitty ass body. He just goes, screw it, and tries to do a razor leaf.
Okay.
For a magic roll.
So strike to
That's
intent,
plus
or a strike? Yeah, strike to intent.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
I said.
So this can't be a magic roll.
Well, no, sorry, no. I was criticizing my own misspeak. So you're casting magic.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh, that's a 9. I'm razor leafing as this shitty little thing.
Okay, well, your goal is damage, I take it?
Yeah.
Well, you do a bit of damage. It doesn't seem like it did much, though.
Right. Is that the drawback?
No, I'm not gonna give you a drawback to this. It's just like I said, this is end boss strength,
Awesome.
and you're a fucking
Right, Ryo just stares blankly with the fucking dopey ass sprout mole face and just says out loud, "This sucks."
All right. So next up is the. Oh fuck! I I got this whole thing prepped up and I forgot to fucking post it. There we go. This is what you're fighting.
Great.
So, the Archangel Morgante holds out her hand and just utters shatter and does a large amount of damage to Iantha. So that's that action.
Oh,
I'm not even gonna
did
roll
I
for
put
that
my
one.
initiative roll in the wrong place?
Yeah, you put it in
have, yeah.
voice action.
Yeah,
Like-
goddamn it.
Oh yeah.
Just, you know,
Two.
it's a 4. I'm last. Well, not last, I guess. I'm almost last.
Yeah, you at least before me. I can't stop rolling low.
So Dan Hibiki is next.
Okay. Dan's
Hey,
gonna look
yeah.
over at Walter and say, "Mr. White, you're not seriously thinking of giving yourself over to that thing, are you?"
I can respond, I assume. It's not like I have to wait till my turn to respond.
Yeah, no, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Talking is a free action.
Fucking use a
Okay.
free
Wait, dude,
Fucking
you
free
know
action.
this.
If I'm gonna be stuck in this world, I need the power to shake it. Back home, I had
Use your
people and
wits.
movers to do things for me. In this world, I'm gonna have to do it myself.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
that's
you
nice of
seriously
being.
think? You seriously think that thing's gonna let you stay yourself?
It's nice about being all powerful and all ruling without, you know, a divine intervention.
Exactly. Have you considered strength training?
There is clearly, even though this is a confluence of worlds, there has to be forces at work which permit this to happen, which rule over all of the things that we are subjected to. And so if I can find the right method, I can at least make it an exchange instead of being enslaved.
My old man always told me that a true man, a real man's got to stay on the right path. There are no shortcuts to true strength. Come, join my dojo.
Show me the pitch.
I was expecting
We
that
meet
to
every
be like.
Saturday, and
I was expecting that to actually be a cool moment where he actually then uses the cassette properly.
Right, Ryo like fucking Ryo like the 2 feet tall, however fucking short Sprout was all just hearing this and just remembering back to their shitty ass Hadouken, just says out loud, yeah, I can do that.
Alright.
well, you know, if you change your mind, let me know. And
I'm interested in learning how to fight, but I'll take any card that'll fit up my sleeve, basically.
I don't think this card's gonna fit up your sleeve, man. Seems like a pretty big card.
I'm just like just a giant fucking lump in its shirt.
I've seen the depths that people can go to in the pursuit of power, dude. Dude, in the most ambiguous way possible. And then he slaps the cassette into the cassette player and does a fucking henshin ass pose.
Yeah.
Nice.
Beams of light shoot out of him until all that's left is this motherfucker. Made even funnier by the fact that I didn't know we were going to be transforming into them in order to do combat.
It's better
I'm
than a
starting to
pile
think
of
that somehow I got the
worms.
best deal out of all of us.
It's better than a pile of worms.
So, what are you doing with your turn?
Well, because Dodomon is a baby Digimon, all he can do is spray bubbles out of his mouth.
Okay. So roll for bubbles.
Okay, I will roll for bubbles. 2d6 plus my mastery. That is not how you roll.
No.
It's gonna be a while before I remember how to do rolls and stuff on this. 2d6 plus 1. 8.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
you spray bubbles at this eldritch abomination. And, it does damage.
A glint
Technically.
appears in Dodomon's eye. He looks over at Walter like, see.
Walter does look very impressed.
Now it's time to move.
Hmm. I think. So, I thought it's gonna be like, do I have to turn into a clown? Clown against God. How bad could this be? And what was it gonna like? Put the clown cassette into the cassette. He's gonna transform into Jimbo. And. Mm, I gotta think of something really funny here, but I can't. Mm, what power does Jimbo Ball have?
Sorry, what?
What powers does Jimbo Balatro have?
I don't know. Shoot cards out of his mouth?
Play a straight flush.
Oh, I got it!
You got 10 though.
Okay, I have an
Spades
idea.
reversal.
I have an idea. It's Jimbo Rufus Balatro plan is gonna use his innate ability to plus 4 mold, and he's gonna use that to affect the outcome to make that bubble attack do more damage.
Okay.
Oh, that's fun. I like that.
Nonsense.
Well, now I can say that actually does noticeable damage.
Alright, let me roll first though.
Yeah, you gotta
Oh,
roll.
right. That's right.
I'm
I
gonna use
can't
Dark.
get ahead of myself.
Alright, that affect the outcome would mean either you have to take harm or spend a link for it to give the boost.
Taking harm.
Yeah.
Okay, so either allow them to roll, slow down the moment. What does slow down the moment mean?
Slow down the moment.
It says on a 7 or 9, you allow them to reroll or slow them down for the moment.
Oh,
Oh.
slow them down for a moment is like if you're affecting the outcome, like slowing down an enemy or something.
Hmm.
So like,
Do you want to
basically,
roll?
so effectively, OnLive gets to reroll that 1 on the 1/6+1.
If you
I mean,
don't take
sure.
the harm. If you choose to take the harm, you get the full effect.
I take the harm. A tear is gonna like appear on on the Jimbo head, but it doesn't look like a flesh eater. It kind of almost look like a tear, like a guy.
Yeah,
So
that's just an outright miss then. If miss it. Oh.
reroll that 1 then.
Well, no, because he took the harm, that's just lifting the rolls from a as before.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah. So yeah, now that is considerable damage. That those bubbles that is considerable.
Like a little jingle, like brain, like brain sound, like bubbles multiply by 4.
Right. Well, now it's time for the worm.
Time for human Walter.
Right, Jan.
Walt's me. I'm Walt. I'm Walt.
You're Walter. You're Walter.
Walter.
Okay.
Wally
I'm
White.
actually I'm at a personal impasse of what would Walt do? Because there's a good chance he would either try to reason with the thing and try to like make a contract with it of some sort, or after seeing it could be damaged, he might just try to kill it and then use his blank cassette on it. Walter is pretty risk averse, so I think that he'd probably just go ahead and try to kill it.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot safer bet than hinging everything on, a flimsy deal. So I will go ahead and warm it up. And I'll turn to Dan, or what is now this little creature, and be like, for now, I'll take your road.
Dan would give a
I'm
thumbs up
gonna
if he had arms, but he doesn't, so he just kind of smiles meekly.
Little creature.
smiles the opposite of menacingly. And then so I'm gonna worm myself, and then as a worm, I'm gonna magic a boulder. Everyone knows glass is weak to boulder, and just drop it on him. Drop it on the angel creature. Biggest boulder I can possibly scrounge up.
Oh wait, shoot! I just
And-
realized it's actually Ianthus' turn right now.
Oh, well then this can wait.
Yeah.
Well, she does more of that radioactive breath of hers on the on Morgante. It does noticeable damage, but Morgante still is very much hanging on. Okay, now it's your turn.
Okay.
Yeah, worm boulder.
It's also worth noting that it looks like Morgante is preparing something.
I see. The boulder is aimed at the head specifically. And beep, boop, bop. Let's just type this bad boy in. Slap it down. 10.
Oh, that is definitely that full effect. No hits is here.
Let's fucking go. Ultimate boulder.
All right, so that's a is that a magic or a strike with intent?
It's magic.
Okay.
It was magic.
Okay, well that does some more. That does a nice chunk of damage.
All right, the Dubin Smirch
Did it
gonna
break
ready up the good old
concentration?
Jack Frost. I'm also gonna try and do a little magic some here. Like just some good old magic going on.
We love magic.
Yeah, just flat magic, no modifiers for the 0. 8. So, I am gonna say Dubin Smirch is gonna try like the ice magic again. Like it's working this time at least. Like this good old like. Goofy use not by the way. But good old ice magic.
right
Okay.
towards Mug's
Well, that ice magic technically does damage.
Technically?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the best kind of damage.
So that makes it Lee's turn again for Rio.
Alright. I'm just gonna do as a Sprout World does and just plunge myself at the angel. That is a 7.
Okay, is that a strike with intent?
Yeah.
So what's your option from that?
Uh. You said they were preparing something, right?
Right.
If I wanted to counter that, would that make more sense as like to defend yourself from harm or like take control of the situation or
Preparing for that sounds like a defend.
right, okay. I'll just do that then. This is just like a jumping headbutt, I guess.
Okay. So that makes it Morgante's turn again. I am going to roll for her next attack. Okay. She,
Awesome.
she shouts Coda Morgana, and you feel the very fabric of reality around you shatter for a moment. Everyone except for Rio takes 2 harm. Rio takes 1.
Oh.
So already on
Oh my-
death's door because I didn't heal the harm from before.
Oh, great! I'm
We have so much in
actually
common.
2.
I think
And
both me
So-
and Defense
It's not
Choice are
good.
one arm away from dying.
and Iantha, who was the closest to the blast, has been incapacitated.
I don't suppose we should, get the out of here.
So I have a question for you all. Do you think
What's that?
do you the players, do you think your characters share a common goal right now?
No.
No, absolutely.
No.
No. Maybe like 4 or 5 of us. Wait, no, there's 5 people here.
There's
3 or
maybe
4
like
of us
3 or
might.
4.
Well, like,
Yeah.
do you think you share a common desire at this moment in time with anyone in the group?
On a
Walter?
surface
Mr. White?
level,
Mr.
maybe.
White?
Walter just wishes that he could command such a force. That's his deepest desire. His
Even
next
like
his next most immediate desire is, oh shit, I want to survive.
yeah, Lupin Smirch is kind of like the reverse. His immediate desire of I need to fucking survive, and he thinks his like his biggest desire is to have that level of control specifically over the tri-state area, but now he just wants to fucking live, man. He needs to survive.
Dan also
Same
wants
like
to speak.
was like it just thought I'm kind of like, oh shit, I'm going to die. I better like whistle my way out of this. And
Dan also wants to seek a higher level of strength, but his immediate goal is to get Walter to stop trying to become evil.
Well, it's not necessarily. Yeah, he just wants he aspires for the power, not necessarily the same way he would use it.
Ryo,
Also,
and in turn, me, the player, wishes to get the hell out of there, but but deep down understands there's no fucking getting out of this.
Okay.
So I
So
suppose technically we are like on a common level of get the fuck out of here.
great, because now you feel your hearts reacting as one, and
Oh,
you all feel a blur of TV static and chaos as you all take on a single form together.
Pirate docking,
both wanted
pirate
this
docking.
But all
pirate
for
docking.
the head.
So you're some freakish gesture thing with worm powers and a little sprout on the top.
Shove it up my heart.
it's the newest Joker.
Abomination.
So with this, you feel much stronger. What is your next course of action?
Fight. Well,
Ew.
my piece of the beast wishes to fight.
When you say much stronger, how much stronger are we talking?
Like, did we just
The GM just gives you a thumbs up.
Okay, we fight then.
We
Right.
pro wrestling with side D?
Can we roll candy?
Sure.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Why not? Yeah.
We're gonna blow one hell of a bubble, guys.
Yes.
One hell of an ice
We have
bubble.
we have worm power. Why not?
Icy worm boulder bubble.
With a little sprout on
Hold it
top.
inside the bubble.
A little scrap.
Was
So do
no,
we
wait,
each
one of us is
contribute a
actually,
roll to this or what?
wait, one of us is pushing the roller button.
I feel like we all gotta roll our own
We all gotta roll.
2d6.
We roll our 2d6. Do we get to add our mastery bonus?
Sure. Fuck it.
Yeah. Let's go.
We all roll our own.
Uh-oh.
No, don't worry, Jeff made up for it.
Oh fuck.
So
Alright, I got the turn. Alright, now it's just like
13.
turn.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So 9,
Alright.
That's surprised my
9,
level of contribution to this
18,
fusion.
23, 36, 46. You needed to roll a 10 or higher to get great success. So this was a great success. And you launch your freakish ice bubble worm thing with card powers and a little sprout on top. And you and you completely blast the archangel,
I like
and
that even. Go on.
and she has fallen.
I like that even the GM doesn't know how to include the sprout mole into this shit. It just doesn't fucking do anything.
So are we still combined or have we separated again?
Well, the combat has ended, so you have all separated.
Okay.
Well,
First
that's
thing
an
Walter's doing
experience.
is
I don't want to be
immediately
repeating
tackling
anything.
the angel with the blank cassette, and then also vaguely trying to scrape bits of glass into his mouth and eat them. It's some vain hope
Desperately
so-
attempting to stop him from doing that.
Rufus is like, let's never speak of this again.
Well, that's the only thing you're going to get agreements out of me. I also think we should not speak of that again.
I think Roy was just going to stand there motionless with a slightly more forward brow than usual and just think to herself, God damn it, I fused with a fucking racist.
Iantha has woke up in time to see what happened, and she gets up and applauds you. That is
I'm still
incredible.
eating
I have. It's not
It is
often
desperately-
I see people fuse like that. Usually, it takes either a great strain like what just happened, or a very strong bond that is built over years.
Well, I feel pretty strained.
Yes, yes, you do.
While Dan is saying this, he's currently trying to fish glass out of Walter's mouth.
Walter is desperate. He's like a 2-year-old. He keeps turning his head away. He's trying to eat glass.
Anyways, this archangel's body seeps into the ground into a weird sort of shadow blob. The ball.
Did I get a chance?
What?
Did eating the glass or pressing my blank cassette to it do anything?
No.
Okay.
The shadow splits into 5, and each piece shoots into one of you.
Okay.
And
Oh, well, that's not good.
you hear her voice in your head. If you wish to leave this land, then heed my words and hear my song. You hear additional words past that, but they are too faint to make out.
I didn't heed shit.
Iantha pauses. Iantha has stares in shock and then shakes her head and mutters, "Looks like this is happening again." And then
So
she says to you, "That was Morgante, the spirit of rebellion. She was what kickstarted the reopening of Knightsbridge Station the first time. She is, as her name might suggest, very rebellious and just does whatever she pleases. It seems that now she is pleased to follow you 5.
So I didn't have to try to eat glass.
No.
That's a thing no sane person should do anyway.
I'm looking
I
for
don't think I've
any
even
edge
seen
I can get in
anybody
this
desperate
world.
enough to do that.
Any edge I can get.
You should just eat weed like the rest of us.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
You hear
Have you tried crystal meth?
I thought about it.
You hear scritching sounds and see Magic Crab crawling towards you through the from the tunnel from whence you came. The Merline has spoken to me. It appears that the spirit of you have met with the spirit of rebellion. Archangels have awoken across many a different world. And the Merline has requested me to personally escort you to these worlds. The archangels must be quelled if any sense of normalcy is to return to the worlds.
Wait, I never agreed to any of this. You can go fight archangels or whatnot. You leave me out of this.
You
Can I try your hat on?
If fighting if fighting archangels involves doing that again, then count me out. I just want my nice beach vacation, okay?
Credits roll.
It's the alternate game over from like Super Paper Mario, the one you get the star of the game. No.
Alright, I gotta think of how to but thou must this. Oh, I know. You hear an unholy screech in your head, likely from that same archangel.
Ow.
Sounds about right.
Rufus kind of like collapses and holds his head in pain.
I hope he's dead. Anyway, can I try your hat on?
My hat is a part of me.
Oh,
So you have like meat under there?
Yes, I have meat under there.
Like delicious
Rufus
crab meat?
Rufus is gonna get
I
it.
am under the protection of the Merline. If you try to eat me, you will regret it.
I
I
attempt.
wasn't trying to eat you. I'm just saying, like, is it delicious crab meat or is it like some other type of meat?
I am not a cannibal.
If I eat you,
I
will my headaches up?
Chris take some ibuprofen or something. You'll be fine.
I I attempt to pick up the crab and put it on my head.
Oh, put me down.
Okay, I put them down.
What are you gonna do if I hold you like an ice cream cone?
Uh,
Okay. Since we must, and also since Walter is on an insane power trip after being a loser in his old world that already goes in a power trip whenever he becomes a meth lord, he's like on a super power trip. Since now he has the potential to become super meth lord. He's motivated. He's ready to play ball.
I still
right.
want this.
Well, I got nothing better to
Yeah.
do if I'm not getting out of this hole anytime soon.
Rufus is not quite getting the hint, but he's slowly starting to get it, like with the screeching in his head, of like, I don't wanna. Anything else happen, Drakes? With the screeching?
This is about the extent of what I have prepared for today.
Okay.
So I take it like after this is like the essentially downtime and we get our first like level up, quote unquote, because it says like basically downtime is level up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How does healing work in this?
Well, you're all just gonna fully heal after this one. This was
Since it was a cutscene.
yes, this was a cutscene battle to
So-
This
ruin
is
the magic a little.
tutorial. This is the tutorial battle where we're way stronger than we will be when this happens again in the future.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah.
classic.
I need to think about what I would want as a fucking move option then. Because I want more fucking funny collector moves.
So I
like-
gathered a bunch of Etch-a-Sketch powder earlier. I'd like to prepare some thermite for future use.
It was this session, and I'm not sure.
Okay, I guess you gathered some powder from broken Etch-a-Sketches you found lying around.
I'll break them myself.
Oh no, they're already
If
broken.
Okay, well then I'll just take
There's
the powder
basically nothing in this mall that is unbroken.
intact. Okay, well then, yo, that's just like free chemicals and shit, just all over the place.
Alright. My
Are there
first
any, like,
advancement.
Small training weights or anything around?
We do have. There is someone. There is someone in Harbor Town who is very much into fitness.
I think we get along just fine.
I wonder.
I like the idea of Dan being really invested in trying to teach Walter to responsibly use power.
Well, he is going to show up to our next dojo meeting on Saturday, right?
Of course, yeah. No, Walter is definitely. I mean, he's looking for every ace that he can possibly fit up his sleeve. So of course he's going to learn how to fight.
I'm just thinking, like, Dan's going to be intensively strength training his little shitty baby Digimon
Yeah.
form.
And I also imagine that like Dan is looking at Walter's scrawny ass body and being like, I'll have to get the smallest weights I can find.
It's probably also gonna be super duper smuts as well. Like Dan is dealing with people who have never lifted a weight in their lives.
Yeah.
Walter is a man who has sat at a desk his entire life and is also like mid-50s.
Yeah, like
Right.
Doofenshmirtz is like 47, and like he's not much better.
And then
Physically,
Ryo,
I'm not
He's
the
got a
best.
hunter.
and then Ryo is a freaking teenage girl that I can tell you is a lazy piece of shit in fiction.
Yeah,
Lyrically,
As
I'm not the
expected of
best.
the
like
person
I
I've
Physically,
think
acknowledged
I'm
as my
like
rival.
Randy Moss.
like like unironically, Rufus might take second place for physical capabilities.
That's
He
fucked up.
legitimately does. Yeah, he legitimately is like second place here.
Walter is ruthless and he has a lot of knowledge on how to kill people with very obscure methods, but physically he's basically worthless.
It's
Yeah.
really
I mean,
funny.
in the third game, he kind of goes on a rampage with like a bat and like destroys a bunch of machines. But that's it in terms of like, oh, how strong is he? I mean, definitely he's like on the higher end in terms of like endurance. Like he can take a lot of punishment probably.
Oh yeah, like Doofenshmirtz can take a beating. Like he gets
Being,
killed by
being a
Play the
pile
Password
of
and
worms,
exploded all the time.
being a pile of worms
This
is in fact a buff for Walter White
as
physically.
it's really funny that Dan is the most reasonable person in the party, and that's even if you ignore the fact of me uh
Mhm.
You
Piloting.
cut off.
Lee,
He's dead.
unfortunately.
Rest in peace.
And
Yeah.
so our four heroes began on their journey.
You say
Now that I'm like now that
no.
I am like
Hmm?
geared into more of like what Interstitial is like, I am in it
Yeah.
for the
Still,
long haul.
I like the
Our, our
idea
four
of
our four heroes and Rufus.
I like the idea of Rufus, like, with the infernal screeching in his ears, just crouched on the ground in extreme pain, going, I can make this work.
Since I I'm trying to play Walter fairly accurately, if hyperbolized for the sake of comedy, and because I think it
I
could
mean, he
create
doesn't normally
interesting
turn into a pile of
situations.
worms.
I think I missed that episode of Breaking Bad,
sorry.
but I
Uh,
am attempting to be fairly genuine to his character.
Yeah.
anyway, I was just saying it's really funny that Dan is the most reasonable person in the party.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah, no,
saying
absolutely.
something.
Like even if you ignored me being in the driver's seat of Ryo, like even if you took like Ryo as herself, Dan would still be the most reasonable person.
So did I find the stuff to make meth in the mall, or am I
You
still
found
looking?
you found
I
dust
found
from Etch a
thermite.
Sketches.
I found thermite. That's for sure.
I don't even know. I don't know enough chemistry to know where you'd find thermite.
Oh,
In
Well,
Etch a
thermite.
Sketches, apparently.
Well, there's actually a video I saw on YouTube a few years ago about creating thermite from the powder that's in Etch a Sketches, because it's like an aluminum base,
you know,
and so you can create a thermite reaction with it like super easily.
you, you
And
know, go on.
so I was like, Walter would know something like that for sure.
You
Walter,
you know Jeff is a seasoned tabletop RPer because he just takes random fucking science facts and just puts them in the RP.
Yeah.
well, he's playing a character who is a chemistry professor, so it makes
That's
sense.
also true.
Yeah, I'm playing a man who like did Nobel Prize worthy chemical research.
Walter White jealously scooping up all of the bottles of drain cleaner in the entire mall.
Yeah.
Desperately searching for bleach and barkeeper's
Right.
friend so we can make mustard gas.
Also, I got an idea of like just like Rufus Drake like accustom himself to like the endless screeching in his head over the next couple of days of prep until something like really banal and really stupid finally motivates him into action.
I like the idea that while this is happening, Dan's trying to give him a pep talk, but he can't fucking hear him because of the screech.
It's just the fucking flashbang sound effect is just playing while Dan's like in the background.
Dan's like, I believe in you. You can do anything if you put your mind to it. A true man always does things completely and never ducks out part way. And all Rufus just hears is womp 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 womp.
This is fucking Peanuts adult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so you think we should? This seems like a good place to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was the wrap up. Okay, can I ask you a question though, Dragon?
Sure.
Were were there songs used in the playlist that weren't from Cassette Beast?
Yes.
What was it from?
I used some from Madoka Magic.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because that kind of has the
Yeah,
exact
that makes
energy
sense.
I need.
That makes sense.
I tried to listen with music along for a while, but like it kept fucking me up and I couldn't focus on what people were saying, so I had to stop.
Fair enough.
Yeah.